And today, the lazy man's guide to cleaning a motorcycle chain, or bicycle chain if you're so inclined, but that is frowned upon. It's also great for ladies who date bikers, although personally ladies don't clean his chain, rather clean his clock ever so often. The easiest way I found, and this is again my personal opinion, which is really nothing anyone wants. Remember, opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one, but I don't want yours. Unless you are so inclined, and that's a whole different kettle of fish. Kettle of dicks? No, fuck. Okay. Cleaners. Let's talk how to get it clean. You can buy Motul, you can buy Fuchs, Liquid Moly, chain cleaners. These are great, but they're hellishly expensive. I mean, a chain cleaner in a small can, pressurized can set you back anything from 120 Rand to 200 Rand. And that's hellishly expensive, huh? For something you have to do every 500 kilometers, that can is going to last you, 4 or 5 times, depending how abusive you are? There's an easier way. And most manufacturers even promote this. And that is paraffin. I did not write this. So SIC. Or as they call it, what is it called in other states? Paraffin, airplane gas. Fuck, I'm gonna get Alzheimer's done one of these days. Okay, paraffin is ridiculously cheap. It costs about 7 to 8 Rand a liter. This is 2018. Tomorrow it can be 14 Rand a liter. Point is, though, that's a liter of stuff compared to a pressurized can of 750 milliliters, of which maybe 400 milliliters is actual paraffin. So it's the base component. It cleans chains. It's safe to use on O-ring chains. It is economical, and it really does the job for you. I'll show you in a minute. Now, drawback, it's liquid. You have to apply it yourself. It's not in a little pressurized can. And that's why we've got this. A little pump can you can get at any garden shop. You put that in here, and then you do what you do every Friday. Maybe use this. Gives you a more natural feel to it. A catchment pan to catch all the drips going in. Yeah, I know I'm an optimist. Better, you get an old cardboard box, put that on the floor, it'll absorb it brilliantly. Tip here, if you've got anything, old drippings in here or cardboard that's soaked, put your tea bags in here, soak them up, put them in a glass jar, and when you need to start a fire or burn the evidence, you just take that out, light that, and it's a great fire starter. Coming to lubrication, starting from the left. Left asshole. Right, this is Motul chain paste. Comes with a little applicator brush and is really for the guy who's got an 1199 Panigale Ducati or something, where he's got a really abusive wife and he just wants to spend a lot of time pasting the stuff on your chain. Gentlemen, it's great. No, it's not. It's a pain in the ass and it flings off like crazy. Why I bought this was an experiment. It's easier just to break this thing open and use the toothbrush to apply it manually. So, next one. Kettenspray, weiß. Chain spray, white. Why would they say white? Does it come in different colors? Does it come in pink? No, because wax is white. Possibly the best spray-on thing I have met during my lifetime. It doesn't fling off, goes on beautifully, and lasts a long time. So this is top of the range. Silcoline titanium dry lube, second, and I prefer this one only because it comes with this, an optional add-on to get in the tight places. Very good stuff as well. Cost 80 Rand, 130 Rand. Then we come to something you can buy at any hardware shop, chain wax. Cheap and nasty, this is about 49 Rand. There's a reason it's cheap, okay? Use it once or in an emergency. Castrol. Not bad, 80 bucks a bottle. It's okay, but there's nothing to write home about. It also flings off. Yeah. Look, All of these things have got wax. Obviously molybdenum, wax, wax, wax. That's why it leaves a white residue. Wax is there to melt when it gets warm, to flow into the crevices, and to stop dirt from adhering. That last promise is bullshit, because it doesn't matter what you put on. The chain will attract dirt. The only thing what might help is if you use a bit of water spray, how easy it goes off afterwards. That's it. Wax is still a pain in the backside to get off by traditional means. And this 75W90 gearbox oil, mineral base. Cheapest chips, easy to apply, makes a bit of a mess, but in a pinch, this is your best friend. Well, actually, I always put it on. It does dry the chain after 400, 500 kilometers, where these still have a wet residue on it. Personally, if I go on a long trip, I fill on one of these canisters. This stuff, they throw it at you at every vape store. So you can fill this up, and it's enough for 2 oilings in here at least. Maybe 3, if you're sparing. That's a go-to. What else will you need? Brush. I've also got a grunge brush, but I'll show you that later. But we're doing the easy way. When you apply chain wax, anything of these aerosols, if you're not careful, it'll go on the rim, it'll go on the tire. That's why I made this little makeshift thing. And all this is a Pringles can, plastic cover, and some wire. And what you do here, okay, one-handed, basically it fits on there, creates a shield, so all the wax will fling on to this thing and stay there, and it'll only drip down here. And whatever residue you've got on here, you can use to oil the hinges on your doors, whatever, because it's great quality wax and oil mixture, 100%. Gloves, obviously you're dealing with solvents, paraffin, etc. Wear some protection, else you will smell. And some people don't like the smell of paraffin. For that, you can use the old-fashioned method of holding your nose. And of course, very important, an old rag. So, let's go. Kerosene. That's what they call paraffin in other countries. That took me a couple of swallows. Phrasing, old man, come on. Okay, so. Pressure pump loaded. This is the chain after 500 kilometers. No dirt. And all what you do, you hold it a bit like this. And you just douse it like that. That's how it is. So we're going to douse this chain. Unfortunately, I have to use both hands, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Let's go. The whole chain has been sprayed, outside and inside. And that's, yeah, okay, it makes a big mess, but the stuff is cheap. So in essence, it's also, how do we say, loosening all the dirt that's already there. All right, once this is done, you can either go with the mentioned grunge brush, and that's, you just hold it here, lift like that, and spin the wheel. About, what, 4 or 5 rotations. Let's do that. Again, I need both hands. My middle leg can't help me here this time. Okay, so grunge brush has been applied, and what I'm going to show you now, hopefully I can do this with a leg, what happens when just a bit more paraffin is sprayed on. And as you can see, the dirt is basically just pushed off the chain by the paraffin. All this stuff has been loosened, and now the paraffin is just taking it off again. Right, now that we've made a complete and utter mess of this thing, this is what the chain looks like after I just sprayed an extra paraffin load onto it. Didn't touch it. And now what we're going to do, take a rag, hold it against the chain or around the chain, watch your fingers and rotate it again. There we go. That took about 3 minutes. Absolutely spotless. That's the gunk. That's the tea bag. There you go, fire starter. Now, bear in mind, take the rag. The paraffin will have loosened all the old grease and it will run down your center stand. So make sure that you re-lubricate your center stand because it will also leach out all the oil and wax there. And don't just throw this away. You can run it over your plastic bits and give them a fantastic shine. Your rim will probably be coated. Again, give that a quick wipe. Perfect. Paraffin will not damage the paint. Trust me, I'm in the paint industry. It's like diesel oil, nothing bad will happen. In fact, in the olden days, they used to wipe down the cars with paraffin to give it that extra shine. It will attract a lot of dust, but it will also leave an oily residue, which makes cleaning a lot easier. Speaking of which, if you don't want to shell out for one of those expensive motorcycle cleaners, use paraffin. I kid you not, if it's dirty like that, paraffin will loosen all the dirt and make it look like that immediately. Also, if you live at the coast or in salty environments, when you're done washing and drying your bike, take a capful of paraffin in some warm water and put your sponge in it and go over the entire bike again. Obviously, avoid the chain and the brake discs and the controls. And what this will do, it will leave a slight oily film on everything. Extra protection. My KLR, when I got it, it was in the coast near Durban. Not a spot of rust on it, because the guy always washed it down with paraffin mixture thereafter. So that's the tip. Next up, oiling. Before I forget, your spray bottle. Empty it completely of paraffin. Put the unused stuff back in its container. Paraffin is not kind to these sort of cheap plastic things. After a while, the compression seals will go and you have to throw this thing away. The same can be said with this residue. If you don't want to burn it, fill it into a container, a 2-liter Coke bottle or some sort of energy drink bottle, close the lid, make sure it's airtight, and after a couple of weeks, all the skunk will have settled to the bottom. At which point you can push in some gauze to keep it there, and whatever is clear you can reuse. Also, don't use latex gloves. These are Vuitton or some sort of material. Latex will also, it'll swell when it touches paraffin, become very soft and break easily. This stuff will not do that. What else? Yeah. Oh, before we do the oiling, give it about 5 to 10 minutes just to flash off. At this time you can have a cigarette. Yeah, I suppose. Paraffin isn't that flammable. Okay, that should have been enough time to flash off. Right, before you start oiling, do a rotation on the chain and have a look if you see anything like this. Notice how the link is resisting to go in a straight line like its brothers. Bloody nonconformist emo. What does this mean? It means lubrication is not good here. And bearing in mind this chain now has 26,000 kilometers on it. Yeah, not bad. So, how do you fix this? Well, you can try cleaning again to see if there's any more grit, but if it's lubrication that has maybe failed, use a very thin oil to get it back into, well, how do we say, back to standard. And for this reason, I'm going to use the gearbox oil today. So let's start. I need a third hand. Okay, the reason I put this oil in this little power Energiate bottle is because you can really limit how much comes out. That's perfect. See, and all you do is gently dribble it on each link, obviously while rotating the tire. As you can see, just flows all around and drips off. That's why when you do this, you do need to rotate the tire ever so often, And that's what we're going to do now. Now, if you're like me and you've put too much oil on, or what you do, give it a good old spin. This will force the oil from the inside link, well, to the outside. Basically, it'll try to fling itself to the outside. And you keep that in motion, and then we're going to put a rag on the chain and catch all the excess. Because I've put too much on, there's still going to be a couple of drips and drabs. They're most probably going to come from here and run down your side stand. Remember what I said with paraffin leaching out the lubrication on your side stand? Well, congratulations. The lazy man's way is going to lube it for you again. Forget that then. What else? Obviously the lowest part of the chain, you're going to have a couple of drips there. So best thing, do this maybe the night before you're going to ride, so all the oil has dripped off, and maybe just run a rag on it again if you're really keen. If you're in a hurry and you've just done this, bear in mind, this chain has got a lot of oil on it now. What will happen, it'll fling up here, as well as, well, down here. Your leg may get a couple of squirts of oil, but really minuscule, so nothing big. And chances are the oil will also have a lot of carbon in it, so it'll have little black spots. But as that goes, easy to get out of your clothes, just do your washing. I mean, just give the pants to your wife or your girlfriend, they'll take care of it. Ow! Wedding band just got extremely hot for some reason. Ow! So, the drawback with oil, it doesn't solidify, just keeps liquid. But if you go higher in thickness grade, this is 75 W90, go for 90 140W, 90W 140. Thicker oil will stay there longer. The benefit of oil, it's not wax, duh, so it won't accumulate as much in here. It will still accumulate with all the carbon deposits, but not as bad. Plus, the oil will loosen a lot of these deposits and, well, push them out. So if you're cleaning your bike, you're taking this apart, use paraffin to clean it, because the paraffin will dissolve the oil faster than all the wax gunk. Little tip there. Kids. Okay. So, that's the lazy man's way. It took me, well, okay, plus minus with recording, one-handed and all that. Look, within 5 to 10 minutes you can have this done and go back to your normal life. If you can teach your children to do this, fuck it. Till next time. Bye.